Hey, welcome to this very special episode. I cannot wait to show you the SkyFarm that I built and then go over some really interesting farming techniques and hopefully do a relatively comprehensive cooking guide as well. We're going to get into all that, and then at the very end, after the credits, sometimes I do bloopers. Today's going to be a little bit more serious if you want to stick around for it. If not, have a great rest of the day. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this video, and wait. What? What's happening? Where did you even come from? I heard you say cooking. I was sleeping, but then I heard you say cooking. Good. So, well, we're gonna do the video today for Creativerse. For Creativerse. Oh, yes, okay. The cooking video. Yeah, no, I remember. Okay. I'm glad you remember. How about you remember to lower that webcam a bit, because what people can see are my nose and my ears, and I'm the moneymaker. All right. I'm like the reason people even tune into this station. Really. I am the talent. You barely even qualify as tech support. Jeez. Is that better? Yeah, well, I guess. So, yeah, you know what? I'll show them around the farm, because I'm good at that. And then you can do the whole cooking thing. I don't care. I'm glad you decided. Now that I know I'm not getting food, I'm really not interested. You know, we had to do it. My intro was pretty good. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, let's roll it. Bet you can't do it in one button press either. Really? Damn. All right, well, I'm up first, so if you wanted to go take care of whatever it is you were going to go take care of, go ahead. Yeah, I'm going to go bake bread, actually. Oh, you're baking bread? Oh, that's awesome. It makes this whole apartment smell like hot cinnamon and bread. All right, well, you go do that. And we are going to go take a look at that SkyFarm. Oh, I'm so excited to show this to you. Okay, so we've been working on this for quite a while, and it started off as this drawing right here. I did that. I was thinking about it, overnight. I was sleeping, and I was chasing the squirrel that pisses me off so bad during the day, and I just was dreaming about it. And then all of a sudden, boom, it hit me. SkyFarm. So I got a pencil and paper out, and I jotted this down real quick, and I handed it over to that human, and we got to work on this shortly after. It wasn't exactly how I planned. We had to omit some things, but the design came out pretty well. I hope you agree. So let's go take a closer look at it. So we named it the Paxton SkyFarm after one of our favorite actors, Bill Paxton, who passed away earlier this year. He was the only person, I think you can fact check me if you'd like, to actually cross over the sci-fi trilogy, the sci-fi trinity in the 80s, which was, Terminator, Aliens, and Predator. So you can fact check that on your own, though. All right, so this is the SkyFarm. I love support beams. I love them. I don't like having things that, don't look like they would make sense. Like, I don't like floating objects. So everything here is supported structurally. It should work. Now, we just passed underneath that waterway, and we're going to head up over here to the teleporters. And we got Leafy here. He's going to help show us around. Now, if we go up to the right over here, I have the bee farm, or the honey farm, and the cactus flower farm. Now, we're going to go over a little bit more details later on how I set this up, because I'm not going to say it's overly unique. I mean, I'm sure it's been done before, but it worked out really well. I also like grand structures, if you can't tell. I like things to be just kind of like a little bit larger than life. I mean, we have unlimited land here, so why not take advantage of it? I don't like little things. I don't like feeling confined. I also like a lot of open spaces. That's why there's not a lot of railings on anything. You could fall right off the edge of that and have an unpleasant day, but I'm not, that's up to you if you want to go do that. Now, on the left side there, that's the bog water, or I think it's called bog water, and on the right side, it's regular water, and the original water that we passed under was the purified water? We'll go into detail with that later, but there's a reason all that's there, and it's going to come back into play when we talk about cooking. So these right here are the horned melons. They are considered to be a little bit rare in the game. You're not going to be able to find them just anywhere. They're only in the jungle biome. And I think they're considered rare because they only spawn when the player is in that area. So unless you are like always in that area, they don't really spawn. So a lot of the times you have to go there, hang out there for a little bit, maybe spend a night or two, and then you'll find like 4 or 5 of them. I mean, that's at least how I started this farm anyway. I started with like 4 or 5. So now that you've seen the ground floor, And we're taking a look. I wanted to show you, some of the structures, some of the structural integrity of it. We're going to go upstairs. Now we use that teleporter to go to the upper levels. And this is where the wheat is going to be located. I need a lot of wheat because it takes a lot of wheat to do the cooking. I mean, I think it's one of the, I think it's the most used ingredient in all of the cooking. So I wanted to make a lot of it. And then once I built this one, I was like, I don't like things to not be symmetrical. Oh, look, there's the Great Hall. We renamed that. That's going to be the video at the end. We're going to show you what we named that. Anyway, so I don't like things to not be symmetrical. So after I built the wheat fields here, I had to make the lettuce fields on the other side, and then the turnips are on the other side. But I had to make them just as big. I wanted everything to be symmetrical, and then making the archway over the top so I can connect everything using these sloped blocks was just very labor intensive. But one of the things that I love about this game, and one of the things I wanted to really illustrate to you, is that all of this is done with, I mean, if you can even see it in the color palette, it's really only like 2 or 3 different kinds of blocks that I'm making all of this with. I got the, I cannot remember the name of it at the time. Wildwood? Some kind of wood. Anyway, there's wood up on the top. You can see that where all the lights are. And then, down here on the floor, it's all the brick. And then the other block, I don't know. My brain is fried. My brain is so fried. We placed so many blocks today to get this done, to get this video for today. Anyway, it's only 3 different kinds of blocks. It's very limited amount of color, and I wanted to show you how many options you could, how much options you had available to you to use very simple designs, but the way you use them could be so intricate. And that's what I love this game for that reason. And I wanted to keep this aesthetically very similar to the Grand Hall down there, but I wanted to also have it be unique in its own way. This is why we use more arches here. Instead, down there, it's very triangular, very sharp arches. Up here, everything's a little bit more rounded. You can see that with the dome overhead. So let's go take a fly downstairs, because I love seeing this whole structure from the air, right? Look at that. Looks so nice. So nice. This is going to be one amazing city when it's done. So let's go into the other teleporter, shall we? Because, like I said, we have the bog water, the regular water, and the purified water here as it stands right now. But there's other liquids that we're going to need when it comes to cooking. Oh, but first, let me just go down here, and I'm going to show you the cooking setup that we have. So you can see I have all of the cooking stations down here and some chests. I have some cooking ingredients on display as well. I just really like all the different things that this game, all of the things that the developers have put into this game to let us really, I don't know, just show off your creative side. Just have a good time. I have everything sorted out in different chests so that it's very easy to get your hands on everything. And you can see here's all the water, and molasses is one, tar is the other one, bog water, it is called bog water, lava, corrupted, and mineral water. That's not purified water, it's mineral water. And then these are the things you can end up making with them, the sandwiches and stuff. But we're going to get into all that later. That's what that guy's job is about. He's baking bread right now, which it's funny. We're going over a tutorial on how to cook, and he's back there baking bread. All right, so now let's go upstairs and go to the other teleporter so you can see what I've set up. That's the one to go upstairs, and this is the one to go, well, we can just call it downstairs because technically it is, because I wanted to find a nice area to collect some tar, collect some molasses, some corrupted water, and some lava. Now the problem is that lava was a real pain in my paws. The lava kept cooling off, and it would just go everywhere, and it lit me on fire a few times. So what I ended up doing was building this room very close to a naturally, an organic lava source. Oh, sorry. Dog biscuit in my throat. So the corrupted water, I did not know what would do in the, well, you can call it, I guess, the overworld. I didn't know what it would do upstairs, so I wanted to keep that contained down here too. Now, if you leave enough distance between your feet and any corrupted stone, you will not gain you will not have any damage from corruption. You can see down there at the bottom of the screen, the little corruption meter started to go up, but as soon as I backed away from the liquid, it went away. Now we are down in the lava layer. We're actually just above the corrupted layer, but we're not taking any, you know, the corruption bar is not going up, and it's because I used a lot of excavators to clear a really decent sized area. You can see I took a lot of blocks out of here so I can build this in midair. And the reason for that is so you can come down here and just at your leisure collect all the liquid that you needed to go back upstairs to go cook with it. And then once you're back up here, you can just drop all that stuff off in the chest or collect some more water if you'd like. So all this is here to support cooking. This whole area is designed to be fully sustainable for cooking, whatever you need. And we're going to go into that in a little bit. In fact, I think I'm pretty much done showing you around here. The one thing I did want to comment on is if you did notice upstairs that there isn't any railings on anything, like I said earlier, but that's also a little bit for expansion because you never know when the developers are going to add some new content to the game, and you might want to like, oh, you know, that's a neat little block. That's neat. That's something new. I want to put that there now. You know, I leave a lot of room for that in particular. So that's something maybe to, you know, consider when you're building your own, you know, your own structures too. You know, who knows what they're going to put in next, so you might as well just have a little bit extra room ready. Anyway, I think that kind of wraps up the SkyFarm for me. Are you ready over there? How's the bread coming along? All right, he's deep in his bread making, cooking, whatever. So I'm going to go get him, and he's going to take over the video from here, and he's going to go into a little cooking tutorial for you, all right? That ends my involvement, and now I'm rambling. Oh, God, I got to work on this. Okay, well, I'll see you later. Thanks for watching. Bye. So he seems to be doing pretty good over there. So let's go take a look at the bread that I'm working on over here in the kitchen, okay? Let's take a walk in here. So now you can see I just added a little bit more flour to it, but it still has a long way to go. All it is right now, it's very liquidy. I got to add a lot more flour, but very liquidy. It's water. I used honey as the sugar reactant for the yeast to get them to propagate. So it's honey, yeast, water right now. I used two different types of flour. You can see I used the whole wheat flour and the all-purpose flour. I mixed those together. Then I added some cinnamon because it's my own personal taste. I put 3 eggs in here also, and then one more secret ingredient I'm not going to tell you about because it's my secret ingredient. And I have to do this stuff because I'm a very active person, so I like to even have my bread to be a little bit more of a supplement as well. It's got a little bit more protein in there with the egg and stuff like that. I just wanted to show you this because this is how hard it is to make bread in real life. It's much simpler to make bread in Creativerse, so let's go take a look at that. So now that you've had a chance to check out that SkyFarm, let's go take a closer look at farming and cooking. Let's head inside. I got some stuff set up already, so we can go over some of the basics of how I set up the farm. And then I want to go over a little bit about how I did the honeycombs and the cacti. So what I have set up over here is just a little glass chamber, right? I did now when I made mine, it's 5 across by like a ton lengthwise. So this is just a little test. But I wanted to just show you the way I did it, and the most effective way to do it is to drop water down 1 block, right? And you can put the earth right over the top of it. By earth, I mean you could do dirt, you could do, like I'm doing grass right here. Then you're going to access your plow. You can see I have a plow right here in my inventory. And to make one of those, all you need is stone rod, 2 of those, 2 obsidian, and 2 regular stone. Once you have it made, all you have to do is just activate the dirt or the grass itself, and you can start tilling it into plowed, to tilled land. That's what it's called, tilled land. I'm going to leave the last one untilled to show you that if I try to place this here, right here, I have the lettuce seeds. I try to place lettuce seeds on them. Those work fine. The last one, let me put it down here, but it says fallow. And I'm glad it did because I wanted to show you something. It'll say fallow even if it's in a temperature range that's not ideal to grow that plant. So some need to be cold, some need to be hot, I think. You might have to fact check me on that. I'm not sure if there's any, but I can tell you this. All of the stuff that you're going to need in cooking today for this video it's going to grow at like a moderate temperature. Like you can see up in the top right corner of my screen now, it says the time, and then it says 85 degrees. Everything seems to be growing fine right here. So that's working out. But these seeds, you can see at the bottom, it says seed not fertilized. So if it says that, it will grow. Doesn't matter if it's fertilized or not. Fertilization just speeds it up a bit. Now, I tried this a minute ago. I want to show you something real quick in case you want to give it a try sometime. I can tell you it does not work. But I tried to see if wheat would grow upside down, because I thought that would have been really neat. I was like, oh, I got a great idea. I'm going to grow wheat upside down. That'll be really unique. First of all, it only tills the top of the dirt. And then if you go to rotate it, it only rotates it around that way. It does not rotate it, you know, horizontally. So, or vertically, whichever way you want to consider that rotating. But anyway, it won't do it. So you cannot grow wheat upside down. Now, when it comes to the queen bees and the honeycombs, I staggered them. So let's see if I have to, we'll use sandstone. We'll use sandstone and glass. We'll use sandstone, glass, and regular sand. So the way I put the, you can see right there, right? I have a wooden block, right? I have the cragwood block. So I put the cragwood block down there because you have to put the honeycomb on top of the cragwood block. So we're going to use the glass as the honeycomb or as the queen bee. So this glass right here represents the queen bee. That represents the cragwood. I could have gone and got those pieces, but I don't want to waste your time. Now, if I would have put another one right here, like so, they're both going to spawn one right there. It's going to waste a little bit of space. So to limit that, what I did was put a piece of the a block of the cragstone in the ground here. So now if I put a queen bee there and a queen bee here, this one will make one here, this one will make one here, this one will make one there, this one will make one there, like so. Just like that. And then as you can guess, this one here will then fill in, oh, not those spots, that spot. And to illustrate it, you can see that that's exactly what happened right here. All down the line, you can see it filled in all those gaps. This is probably the most efficient and least amount of space way to do it. As far as the cacti goes, it'll grow on sand. Now I thought, I was a little concerned that this one being butted up against 3 corners of other blocks might stop it from growing. But you can see this one here is butted up against, or this one down here was butted up against 2 and it grew. And there's other examples down the line over here where they're butted up against some, but they are growing. It's just very random, and sometimes it's very slow. And I don't know if there can be only so many in a close proximity, because some of these should be growing and aren't, and others grew immediately, like within a couple minutes. So I don't really know what their timetable is on that, or if I'm doing something wrong. Something else that you'll notice over here is that anytime you put sand blocks down like this, you have the possibility of farming seashells. These will just randomly spawn on top of any sand. So I have an unlimited seashell farm, cactus flower farm, and the honeycomb right here. Inside there originally was the queen bee, but that despawns after it makes its hive. So there's always a chance I'll farm some more, but I will not probably have enough to repopulate it after I farm it all. But honeycomb goes a really long way. I'd say probably about 3 of those will get me more wax than I possibly could ever use. So let's head down inside over here, and we can talk a little bit more about cooking. So let's take a look at my inventory so far. Right now I have the mineral water on hand, but I don't have all the other ingredients I need. So let's grab some corrupted water, some lava. We'll grab some molasses, some tar, regular water, and bog water. So that's all the water we're going to need. We're going to need, I'm going to grab a little bit of the questionable jerky. Let me bring that up again so you can see it. The questionable jerky, which you can get in a forge from putting in a forge the chisered gizzards, or the frozen chisered gizzards will give you the questionable jerky. We're going to grab some mushrooms. Do I already have? I only got 2 of those. So let's grab the 99 and here, and we already have some red ones. Let's get rid of that. And we have the glow mushrooms here. The glow mushrooms, we have the brown mushrooms and the red mushrooms. Oh, gotta get some wheat. Gotta get some wheat to make some bread. We'll get some melons here, the horn melons. We took a look at those upstairs. The turnips and the lettuce. All right. Right here, this is the cooking station. I love the animation on that. It's so neat. So that's the cooking station. To build one of those, all you're going to need is 2 obsidian, 2 stone slabs, 4 stone rods and 1 coal. Very easy to make. You can make that pretty early on. And you bring up the cooking station, you might only have bread unlocked. And that's kind of normal. I think these are not even there at first. You have to discover them, I think, but don't hold me to that. It's been a while since I've had to go through this for the first time. So I'm going to click on bread. And to make bread, you need liquid and grain. Now, when I first played this, like an idiot, I was like, well, this is dumb. This isn't really deep because I got liquid here and I got grain. I can make regular bread. And like, all right, that's great. But like, who cares? It's just regular bread. Because like an idiot, I never thought, oh, wait, there's other liquids. There's bog bread or bog water to make bog bread. And bog bread will do the same amount of heat of maximum health. Like it says, regular bread, 100 to max health. Bog bread, 100 to max health, plus 50% poison resistance. So let's grab one of those. The tar bread, 100 to max health. But I never eat these because can be used as a fuel of a heat level of 10, which is, and you might have to fact check me, but I'm pretty sure the hottest thing in the game. You can't use lava in a forge. So you can use like the sulfur, you can use the coal, but both of those have 2 out of 3 flames. The tar bread does 3 out of 3. It actually cooks the fastest. So when you have stuff that's like really time consuming to make, like if you had diamond and stuff like that, I always use tar bread. It speeds it up so much. So let's grab a few tar breads just to be ready for later. And that's done. Okay. What else do we have to do? Oh, my favorite. The mineral water makes wholesome bread. Wholesome bread is 100 max health, like all the other breads, but it does periodic healing. This is the one I usually stick to all the time. I have tons of this usually on me. I'm always just stacking up on these. But I did discover something in my last little pre-recording for this video, getting everything ready, that I can't wait to show you. It's pretty neat. You might have actually already spotted it earlier in the video. Now, the molasses is interesting. Gingerbread, I don't think can be made into anything. It's its own thing, and it does plus 100 to max health. So this is good if you just want to have a little bit of an extra boost. I don't know if molasses is even used for anything else, so I just use it to make the bread right now. And if it is used for something that I'm overlooking, I apologize. I don't think it is, though. Then we have the blazing bread that you can make with the lava, which does 50% to fire resistance, which is great. So let's grab a couple of those as well. And then the last one is the corrupted bread. Now this one's a little bit more dynamic. It's going to take away 100 to your max health, but it's going to add 20 stamina, and corruption now heals you over time. So if you haven't been in the corrupted layer yet, lower the volume for a second because I don't want to give anything away. But if you have, the whole corrupted layer is like mostly water, right? There's like little islands, but it's a lot of water. And now anytime you take damage, you can just jump right in the water and heal yourself. So let's grab a couple of these breads as well. And I'll show you why, because we're going to click on sandwiches in a second as soon as that's ready. And real quick, I want to just talk about 2 things. First is pies. Pies and soups I don't really make too often, and I'll show you why in a second. But that's one of the reasons why we're just going to go over bread and we're just going to go over sandwiches. Those are the 2 I use predominantly. So now you can use the regular bread, right? Regular bread, if you're going to make it into a sandwich, now now gives you a max 200 points to your health, right? But you need to put in 3 ingredients on top of the bread, which would be vegetables and other ingredients. So like for a vegetable, you can use a melon and you can use lettuce. Now this is an awesome sandwich. I love the melon sandwich because it's going to do plus 200 to max health and then plus 100 to max stamina, which is great, especially if you have the pro version, you're flying around, you burn through that stamina. So this is great. So let's make like, we'll make a couple of those. Good, we got those. Let's just try some different ingredients. The glow mushroom is going to do a heal over time effect, plus 200 to max health. So we'll grab that. That sounds pretty good. Is there anything else? Oh, I think 2 turnips. 2 turnips do plus 50% to your speed, which is great. I'll grab one of those. Oh, we're out of bread. But that's not good because I wanted to show you a little bit more. So let's make some more bread. And now we're out of grain. Okay, well, we'll work with what we got. So that sandwich there. Let's try the regular bread and there. Oh, that's right. The chizzard gizzards. You need 3 of them to make. Well, you need 3 of the questionable jerky made from chizzard gizzards. And the bonus effect is consuming a little chizzard taught you how to fall with style, take no falling damage, which is great. I should have been using these, making this whole SkyFarm. I felt a lot more than I'd like to admit. I think I only died once, but I felt constantly. Even using the C command for crouch, like I still fell off the edge a lot. So I could have used a lot of these. But let's grab one of those. So now we got that. Now, it doesn't stop there, which is awesome because like I said, when I first did this, I thought this was like a really shallow cooking system. And I've cooked in every video game you can cook in. You know, I started with Ultima Online. I GM'd cooking in that. After that was World of Warcraft, cooked. Guild Wars 2, cooked in that. Grandmastered that or whatever they call it to get to the max level. Even did it in Elder Scrolls Online. I think the entire time I played that game, I was cooking because I hated that game. So after I was done with the very little bit I played, I did master cooking, and then I was like, I'm done with this game. I just couldn't stand it. But that was my own personal preference. Anyway, with this game, I was like really looking forward to getting into cooking. I didn't like it at first, like I said, but then I saw all the other breads, and I was like, wait a minute. I can throw corrupted. I make a corrupted sandwich. So now instead of subtracting 100 to max health, it subtracts 200, so that's a little bit more of a hit. But it adds 100 stamina, which is well more than the 20 that it did before. And now corruption has inverse damage, which I don't see how that's different from healing you, but again, awesome, right? Because you're going to get healed, plus you have 100 stamina. So let's make one of those. Let's use some of that lava bread too, because now lava has inverse fire damage. So now instead of having resistance to fire, you're actually going to be healed by it, plus have 200 health added onto that. So let's make that sandwich. I hit the wrong button. Oh, I still have questionable jerky in there. Let's get rid of the questionable jerky, and let's use some mushrooms, because you can see a lot of these ingredients are interchangeable, and it doesn't. Oh, well, not that one. Let's go back to the bread here. But you can see a lot of these ingredients are interchangeable, and it doesn't change what the bonus is from that recipe. So let's make 2 of those blazing breads, because we're gonna need those for later. Now let's use the wholesome sandwich. It heals over time. Which is great. It's not periodic healing anymore. It's actually healing over time constantly. And all of these will not change that. So let's get 2 more of those. You can make a sandwich, believe it or not, out of the tar sandwich. And the little paragraph here about you doing that is actually kind of funny. I like that. But it doesn't really change much of what the sandwich does, to the best of my knowledge. There's no combination that's going to do anything different. Now, I do not know if there's any hidden... All right, for instance, if we were to make the regular bread with 2 turnips here, right? Do the 2 turnips. It does 50 to speed, right? Now, I don't know if, like, maybe making the same thing with the wholesome bread also does speed and it's just not listed. I don't know. Like, that would be an interesting, thing to find out, but I don't know. I haven't checked that out yet. So that, we could use the bog, too. I mean, the bog sandwich plus 200 to max health, inverse poison damage, which is fantastic. It's great. It's great to have as a little backup. So let's make one of those. Okay, so now that covers sandwiches, right? And now I'm going to tell you why I don't really go into soups and I don't really go into pies. I'm going to make a soup actually right here. So I'm going to use the lava. Let's use that here, okay? It does 50% fire resistance and 150 to max health. Now, if you remember, the bread, the blazing bread alone does 50 resistance, and it only does 100 to max health. So you are now adding 2 more ingredients to just get 50 more max health, when you could just add these ingredients into a sandwich, right? To make a blazing sandwich and get fire that heals you over time. So I much prefer just to go straight with the sandwiches. But there is actually maybe a reason to get some soups as well. So let's grab one. But this is really your preference, and I'm going to show you why right after I talk about pies. I skip pies completely. I don't even bother making them. And the reason is the egg. The egg you can only attain from taming and harvesting from tamed chizards and ice chizards, I think they're called, frozen chizards. Either way, you have to tame them, maintain them, and farm them from them as rewards for maintaining them. It's just labor intensive to get either 1 to 3 eggs randomly. It takes a while to get them. So I completely skip over pies, and it doesn't even have, the pie itself does not have, let's see if I can even bring up, I can't, until I get all the ingredients, I can't even, like, it needs a grain. Yeah, I can't even show you any different styles because I don't have any eggs. And it just takes too labor intensive to just get that 150 to max health, and then to, and whatever bonus it gives you when you can just skip right to the sandwich, and you're just going to get all that, it's better. It's just a better item to have in your inventory. There might be one reason to do it though, maybe, but it's like a stretch. I'm going to show you right now. You ready? Let's back out of here. Let's bring up our inventory. You can see on the side here, normally there'd be all these hearts with my bonuses, and you can see if I back out of here, you've probably seen them when you consume a mushroom. I'm going to do it right now. I'll just show you. I eat the mushroom, and it shows down here at the bottom corner, 12 seconds left for the glow mushroom, and it's healing me periodically over time. If you bring up your inventory, you can mouse over it, and it says a tiny amount of rejuvenation periodically, right? So now you know where the little bonuses are located. So let's eat one of the sandwiches. Let's say I'm going to go down into the lava layer. So I'm going to eat that blaze sandwich if I can find it. I know it's here somewhere. There it is. All right, so blazing sandwich, I'm going to eat that. Boom, there it is. Inverse fire damage plus 200 to max health. And you can see that reflected down here in my health bar. It's now 1,200. It's great. Now this I just found out while pre-recording, like I said, and I'm so excited because this is a really neat feature to this game. So let's try the blazing soup as well. It stacks, right? It stacks with the sandwich. But here's the thing, everything stacks. And you can tell here by my health down here because eventually we run out of room and we can't add anymore. So let's try the turnip sandwich. We want to get plus 200 health and 50% to speed. We got that too. All the timers are also at 15 minutes. So you can load up. Like I'm going to do some gingerbread. That's only at 8 minutes. But if I want to get some healing over time, I can eat all of the sandwiches down the line. If I'm going to go to the corrupted layer and I want some corruption resistance, that's going to take away 200 health. So you can check on my health down at the bottom. It's at 2,250. It's now at 2,050. So I lost a little bit of health right there. But you can see I went down the line, ate all the sandwiches, get some poison resistance as well. I'm back up to 2,250. And if I come out of my inventory screen, you can see all of them right there on the side, on that left side of the screen. That's all my bonuses right now. You can stack them all. It's great. I love that feature to this game. I don't know how my character isn't gaining weight because there's sometimes where I'll stack like 4 or 5 at a time, and I know he's not burning that many calories, going down into the mine mining, unless he's really stressed, maybe. Anyway, though, that's something that I overlooked for a long time in this game, that this stuff stacks. I didn't want to try it because I didn't have a lot of food, so I didn't want to waste food because I didn't know if it would stack. So, but now that you know, go ahead, stack them, unless it's going to eventually be patched out of the game, because it does make you, I can imagine if you had every pie and every soup and every sandwich, you might be up in the realm of like 4,000 health, which is going to make you like pretty unstoppable. It's pretty great. So that's just a little tip that I found. That's, what I've been enjoying with this game when it comes to farming and cooking. I've been really enjoying it, and I really wanted to make this video because I don't know if maybe you were like me, and if you were, leave it down in the comments. I felt originally that cooking was so lackluster, and now having discovered what I discovered about this stacking of the food, I'm just like, oh, so excited to have this farm. I have unlimited amount of food. Also, on the same vein, I was talking about this SkyFarm. I hope to eventually open this up to the public so that more people can check it out, maybe through an adventure. I think I'm going to build the R&D lab and then open this up as an adventure for everybody to check out. And I was thinking the other day, I didn't mention it in my video about the Grand Hall, but my mindset going into building all of the stuff I build, like that out there, and then this Grand Hall I'm about to turn around and show you the inside. My mindset whenever I'm building this stuff is actually I kind of grew this mindset when I played like the game Myst and like the game Abduction. Like when you were going into this brand new universe and you're like, what civilization was here right before I got here, and why did they build this stuff? Like these awesome structures that are just so larger than life. And what was it here for? And what were the people? What was the civilization that built this thinking? And that's kind of the mindset I always like to have whenever I build these structures. I don't want it to feel like a player built them. I want it to feel like this was used for something, and it might not actually be clear what it's used for just yet, because it's a little alien. It's a little bit too big for any one use. That's why I was really glad to have the SkyFarm be a useful structure, because this Grand Hall really isn't. It's only going to be really used as a connector, because my next step is to build a walkway out towards that teleporter, and then to the right, and that's where the research lab, the R&D lab, is going to be, which I haven't named yet. Haven't started yet. All I have right now is a couple of drawings that me and Umbra have been working on. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. And after this video, after I roll the intro again, which I consider to be the credits because I'm lazy, I'm going to do like a little quick thing. You don't have to watch it if you don't want to. If you want to, stick around. Most of the time, I don't even know if you know, but I usually do bloopers at the end. This time it's going to be a little bit more serious because something happened this week I just want to talk about. But either way, thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was informative and entertaining. I always strive to be both. If there's anything I can do better, please let me know in the comments below. And if you did like it, please, again, let me know in the comments below. And subscribe if you like. And thank you so much for stopping by. I hope to see you next time in Creativerse. So thanks for sticking around. I just wanted to say something really quick. I renamed the Grand Hall Euphoria Morning in memory of Chris Cornell. Chris Cornell was a huge influence in my life growing up. I remember even when I was in the military, when I first left for the military, I was incredibly homesick, and I used to listen to Euphoria Morning, his first, I believe it was his first solo album, all the time, because it just reminded me of being home. And it got me through some hard times. And this week has just been like an eye-opener, I guess, on just life in general. So I just wanted to say real quick, like, thank you, Chris, for what you did, while you were here, and you will be missed.